Good day everyone. To you, sir, Mr. Roger Anthony Gamali, sir. Good afternoon. By the way, I am Brian B. Razalo. B is Criminology 3, Section E. So, this video, I'm going to report for the book of Forensic Chemistry and Toxicology. My topic is from chapter 6. It is drugs. It's all about drugs. So, start. So, when we hear drugs, what comes into our mind? So, there. So, when we say drugs, define. Drug is a chemical substance that brings about physical, psychological, behavioral, and or psychological change in a person taking it. So, all medicines are drugs, but not all drugs are drug. So, medical drugs, a substance which when taken into the human body cause illness and or relieve signs, symptoms of disease. So dangerous drugs, a substance a substance affecting the central nervous system, which when taken into the human body brings about physical, emotional, or behavioral changes in a person taking. So, drug abuse, any non-medical use of drugs that cause physical, psychological, legal, economic, or social damage to user or to people affected by the users. Behavioral abuse usually refers to illegal drugs, but may also be applicable to drugs that are available legally, such as prescribed medication and certain over-the-counter medication. So, what is the classification of drugs? So, there are natural drugs, there are synthetic drugs. So, let's define what is natural drugs. So, natural drugs are active ingredients, secondary metabolic products of plants and other living system that may be isolated by extraction. So, example of that is raw opium, marijuana, kakabash. So, the second one is synthetic drugs. The second classification of drugs is synthetic drugs. So, artificially produced substances synthesized in the laboratory for illicit market, which are almost wholly manufactured from chemical compounds in illicit laboratories. Example of synthetic drugs, there are methamphetamine, barbiturates. According to the legal classification, RE 9165, otherwise known or a Comprehensive Dangerous Act of 2002, and the PD 1619 or volatile substances. So there are RE 6425 or classified as regulated and prohibited. Under RE 9165, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. The term prohibited and regulated was changed into dangerous drug with the following classification. Okay? So, the immediate precursors, a chemical substance used in the clandestine or manufacturing process becomes incorporated in full or in part into the final molecules of a substance under international control. International control. 2. Essential chemicals. So, chemical substance used as reagent or solvent in the illegal manufacture of controlled substances. Number 3. Narcotic, psychotropic, and designer. So, according to the internet classification, narcotic substances, B. Psychotropic substances, and designer drugs. According to the pharmacological classification or effects, stimulants, hallucinogens, depressants, inhalants. Stimulants are drugs which increase alertness of physical disposition. So, example of that is amphetamine. Street name of amphetamine. Amphetamine, eye opener, lead poppers, pip pills, uppers, and also hearts. What is? Reduce appetite, relieves mental depression, comfort fatigue, and sleepiness. How taken? Orally as tablet or capsule only. So what is the effect? So the general wakefulness or increased alertness, initiative, toxic, iron, restlessness, tokuma, and dangers, dependence, overdose, violent desire or behavior. Example, shabu or methamphetamine hydrochloride. Street name, poor man's cocaine, is or shabu, shabs or ubas, shupaw, or sha or ice. So what it is? White odorless, crystal or crystalline powder with a bitter numbing taste. How taken? Ingestion, inhalation, testing the dragon, sniffing, injection, and also smoke. So what is the effect? General anxiety, irritability, irrational behavior. Long term psychosis similar to schizophrenia, difficulty in concentrating, loss of interest in sex. So in physical, chest pain, irregular heartbeat, hypertension, convulsion, or the last one is death. So dangers. Injection from contaminated needles may lead to risk of infection. Phlebitis, septicemia, AIDS, or etc. So hallucinogens are drugs which affect sensation, thinking, self-awareness, and also emotion. Changes in time and space perception, delusions, false beliefs, and hallucinations. May be mild or overwhelming depending on dose and quality of drugs. Example, ecstasy. Street name, ecstasy or Adam essence. A herbals, how taken, swallowing or inhalation. Effects, exaggerated emotions, makes HR and BP hike up, dries the mouth, Steven's arms, legs drew, dilates, pupils of eyes, causes faintness, chills, sweating, and nausea. So dangerous. It can really kill. Yeah, it's true. Drug is drug can really kill us when we abuse to use it. Please don't use. Example, LSD, lysergic acid, diethylamide, street name, Lassie, in the sky with diamonds. Kolbaking. Wedding bells, acid white sugar, lightning cubes, brain eaters, a semi-synthetic. So what it is? A semi-synthetic alkaloid substance extracted from a fungus which grows on rye, wheat, and other grains, odorless, tasteless, and colorless. Effects: psychological vivid or hallucinations, confusion, blurring and distinction between conscious and unconscious, though or etc. Physical, related pupils, flash fish, increased BP and etc. So dangerous. May cause abnormal amount of breakage or chromosomes of double bases that carry genes which may result to miscarriages and birth defects. Example of that is marijuana. Street name of marijuana is Mary Jane, flower, pampapugi, brownies, damo, pot, tea, joint, and also dope. So what it is? Comes from cannabis, Sativa L. Indiana hemp. Looks like fine green tobacco. How taken? Smoke in pipes. Cigarettes can be taken in food, made into candy, snuff in powder form, mixed with honey or butter. Effects: immediate, faster heartbeat, bloodshot eyes, dry mouth, long-term chest pain, temporary loss of fertility cancer, marijuana burns out, danger slows down user mental and psychomotor activities. Long-term use may lead to psychological dependence, may lead to cancer. So depressants are drugs which depress or lower the functions of the central nervous system. Types of depressants. So there are three. There are narcotics. Number 2, tranquilizers. Number 3, sedative and hypnotics. So what is narcotics? Narcotics. It is a drug which induces sleep. hypnotics or stupor, and relief pain. Analgesics. Sometimes something that soothes or causes a sensation of mental numbness. This is include opium, opiates, heroin, morphine, and the last one is codeine. So number two is tranquilizers. So tranquilizers is a substance that reduces anxiety, ease tension, and relax muscles. So the last one is sedatives and hypnotics. Calm the nerves. Calm the nerves. Reduce tension and induce sleep. Example, barbiturates or alcohol. Inhalants. These are in a liquid, solid or mixed substance that has the property of releasing toxic, psychoactive vapors or fumes. Example, solvent, glue, gasoline, kerosene, paint, thinner, and the last one is naphthalene. So that is the example. So what are considered dangerous drugs? So what is the considered dangerous drugs? So here, dangerous drug is a substance affecting the central nervous system which, when taken in the human body, brings about physical, emotional, or behavioral changes in a person taking it. So it is a substance which when taken in the human body brings about physical, human body alert, alters mood, perception, feelings, and also behavior. So this is under Republic Act 6425, otherwise known as the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972. Dangerous Drugs Acts are classified into three major categories. So namely, there are three. Number one is prohibited drugs. Number two, regulated drugs. Number three, volatile substances. So what is a prohibited drugs? Which includes opium and its active components, and derivatives such as heroin and morphine, coca leaf and its derivatives, principally cocaine, alpha beta eucaine, hallucinogenic drugs such as mescaline, lethargic, and dilamide, or what we call LSD, and such as mescaline, other substances producing similar effects, Indian hemp and its derivatives, all preparation made from any of the foregoing, and other drugs and chemical preparations, whether natural or synthetic, with the psychological effect of a narcotic or a hallucinogenic drug as amended by BP 179 date March 2, 1982. So number two is a regulated drug, so which includes self-inducing sedatives such as secobarbital, phenobarbital, barbital, ambarbital, and any other drug which contains a salt or a derivative of salt. of barbituric acid in a salt isomer or salt of an isomer. Of amphetamine such as benzedrine or dexedrine, or any drug which produces a psychological action similar to amphetamine, and hypnotic drugs such as methaqualone, netrazepam, or any other compound producing similar psychological effects as amended by PD number 1683, date on March 14, 1980. So C. Volatile substances. Liquid, solid, or mixed substances having the property of releasing toxic vapors or fumes, or any chemical substances which when sniffed, smelled, inhaled, or introduced into the psychological system of the body induce a condition of intoxication, inebriation, excitement, or stupefaction, etc. Republic Act 9165, otherwise known as the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Okay? So, drug dependence. So, means a state of psychic or physical dependence, or both on a dangerous drug arising in a person following administration or use of that drug on a periodic or continuous basis. So what is the characteristic of drug dependency? So physical dependence, number 1. Number 2 is a mental psychological dependence. And the number 3 and the last one is a idiosyncrasy or side effect. So what in number 1, physical dependence? The body's physical system changes until the body needs that particular drug in order to function. Number 2, mental or psychological dependence. A need of drug in order to feel good, to get by or feel normal. Number 3, idiosyncrasy or side effect. So use, what is the use of this? Refers to the act of injecting intravenously or intramuscularity, or of consuming either by chewing, smoking, sniffing, eating, swallowing, drinking, or otherwise introducing into the psychological system of the body any of dangerous drugs. So the cell means that act of giving dangerous drugs, whether for money or any other material consideration. So what is the question? The question is, what happened to confiscated, seized, and surrender dangerous drugs? Plant sources of dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essential chemicals, instruments, paraphernalia, and or laboratory equipment. So the answer of that question is the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or the PDEA, shall have custody of all dangerous drugs, plant sources of dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essential chemicals, as well as instruments, paraphernalia, and or laboratory equipment that are confiscated, seized, and or surrendered. So the apprehending team of the group in custody, the confiscated drugs shall immediately prepare an inventory and photograph the items in the presence of accused or his counsel. A representative from the media and the Department of Justice or DOG, and any elected PDEA forensic laboratory for examination within 24 hours after receipt of the time of the items. The forensic laboratory examiner shall issue a certification of the laboratory results. So the court shall conduct an ocular inspection of the confiscated item within 72 hours after the filing of the criminal case. The PDEA shall then destroy or burn the item in the presence of the accused. A representative from media and DOG, civil society groups, and any elected official. However, a representative sample shall retain after the judgment has been rendered in the criminal case. The trial prosecutor shall inform the dangerous drugs board that the case has been terminated and ask permission from the court to turn over the representative sample to the PDEA. Okay, so it's very clear. So chapter 6, the examination of dangerous drugs. Drug testing is a form of forensic testing. Drug test results issues should be scientifically, legally, and forensically defensible. So drug identification is a branch of forensic chemistry that deals with the scientific examination of drugs and volatile substances. So drug identification is usually conducted by a forensic chemist or a chemical officer to determine the presence of dangerous drug on submitted specimens. The forensic chemical offers also conduct drug tests on body fluids of suspected drug pushers and users to determine the presence of dangerous drug metabolites. Paraphernalia like smoking pipes, toters, and aluminum foils should also be submitted for examination to determine the presence of dangerous act. Forms of dangerous acts. Drugs are in various forms. These include tablets, capsules, liquid powder, brick or discs of marijuana, capsule liquid powder, brick of discs of marijuana, crushed leaves and uprooted plants. So A. Examination of sample taken from the confiscated dangerous drugs. Methods of examination. There are qualitative examination. Number 2 is a quantitative examination. The next is Steps common to qualitative and quantitative methods. So, 1. Selection of method to be used. Number 2. Physical test. Number 3. Sampling. Number 4. Sample preparation. Number 5. Chemical test. Number 6. Confirmatory examination. Number 7. Calculation and interpretation of dates. Number 8. Drawing of conclusion and rating report. This test is non-specific and preliminary in nature. It is employed to reduce the family or group of drug to a small and manageable number. So screening test includes a series of color tests producing characteristics colors for each family or group of drugs. This is done by adding specific reagent to a known sample in spot plate. Screening test is quite simple to perform even by investigators in the field. As a matter of fact, field tests using these techniques are being taught in narcotics. So investigation courses, test reagents and basis apparatus are commercially available. So color reactions upon addition of specific reagents to a sample of dangerous drugs, a specific color reaction is produced, such as cannabis, Duquesnoy 11 equal to violet, fast blues bisur equal to purple red, cocaine, cobalt or thiocyanate test or CT test equal to blue, Scott test or a modified CT test, reagent 1 blue, reagent 2 pink, reagent 3 is equals to blue. Wagner test, brown specific test for cocaine, diazepam, Zimmermann test or equal to reddish purple or pink. Some benzodiazepine derivative do not give color with the test. Hydrochloric acid is equal to yellow. Vitally Morin test equal to yellow orange. Opium markings are equal to violet. Ferrous sulfate brownish purple. Mickey blue to green. Nitric acid is equal to orange to red yellow. Morphine or markings, violet to reddish purple. Codeine, make blue to green. Nitric acid, orange to yellow. Heroin, make blue to green. Nitric acid, yellow to green. Sodium copaniates, reddish purple. For barbiturates, methamphetamine hydrochloride, Simon test, blue. Markers test, orange to brown. Ecstasy, Simon test or blue. Methaqualone, pencyclidine test, blue. Lysergide or LSD in Ehrlich equals to violet. Mescaline, Marquis test is equal to orange, and Lieberman is a black. So take note, It must be noted that positive results of these tests are not conclusive, as there are substances that may give same positive color reaction or upon addition of the specific regions. Hence, confirmatory tests must be performed by forensic chemical officer on case to establish the presence and identification of dangerous drug. It must also be noted that only those specimen that yielded resulted positive results are subject to confirmatory test in order to confirm if the positive results of the screening test is really positive. Confirmatory test is the method employed to confirm the results of the screening. Preliminary test. This test involves application of an analytical procedure to identify the presence of a specific drug or a metabolite. This is independent of the screening test, and which uses techniques and chemical principles different from that of essential tests in order to ensure reliability and accuracy. These are several methods. Chromatography is the process of separating mixture and comparing the migration of each component with standard. Some chromatographic technique includes gas chromatography, then layer chromatography, high pressure liquid chromatography. What is a gas chromatography? It is a separate technique. The mobile phase is a gas. Separate is based on the difference in migration rates among sample components. Spectroscopy, a confirmatory method whereby light in use of to identify the sample specimen. Spectroscopy, a confirmatory method for transform inferred spectroscopy of FTIR, used for the identification of pure organic substances. Identifies organic substances, particularly dangerous drugs and explosive ingredients based on their characteristic functional groups. In layman's term, the resulting spectrum could be referred as fingerprints of the substance. Ultraviolet visible spectroscopy, used for screening of dangerous drugs in urine specimen. Examination of the urine specimen. The rate of excretion from the body depends on the drug's solubility in fat. Water-soluble drugs such as doctrine are excreted quickly, while fat-soluble drugs such as marijuana may take several weeks or months before excretion. So, drug tests must be conducted to apprehend individuals which are suspected to be users and to yeah dangerous drugs. Validity tests for urine specimen. Validity test is conducted to determine the integrity of the samples. So the reason for conducting validity test, it in cases of unobserved urine collection, uh, when there is a suspicion that the urine specimen has been tampered, instances when to allow unobserved urine specimen collection. When donor is physically unable to go to the laboratory, when donor is involved in a crime scene, uh, when donor is involved in a post-accident trauma, when donor is critically ill. So different types of tampered urine specimen. There are adulterated, dilute, substitute. So adulter, ad, adulterated, a specimen containing either a substance that is not a normal constituent for that type of specimen, or containing an endogenous substance at a concentration that is not a normal psychological concentration. So B, dilute, refers to a specimen with less than normal physiological constituents. Letter C, substitute, a specimen which has been derived through switching or replacement of original sample. So, ways to adulterate urine samples. There are additional of salt, additional of juice, additional of detergent, additional of bleach, and other oxidizing, and additional of illicit drugs. Ways to substitute our urine sample. Urine from friends or person not using drugs may be used as substitute. Replace sample with other substance similar to urine in appearance. Ways to dilute your urine specimen. A. Internal dilution. Intake of plenty of water before collection of drinking or herbal tea. External dilution. Addition of water to previously collected urine. Parameter for validity test. Initial validity test. Physical characteristics such as color, odor, or etc. There are volume, there are temperature, pH, there are specific gravity, nitrites. Confirmatory validity test. Physical characteristics such as color or odor, etc. Volume, temperature, pH, specific gravity, nitrites, creatinine, oxidizing agents. Other methods for confirmatory validity test. Physical characteristics. Visually determined. Volume same as physical characteristics. Temperature using thermometer. pH is equal to pH meter calibrated with appropriate buffers. Specific gravity. Use a refractometer. Criteria in determining tempered urine specimen. A. Adulterated. pH equal to or less than 11. Nitrite 50. Presence of exogenous substances. Delete. If of gravity to 1.003. Retinine. 1768.0 ml. Substitute gravity 1.00 or 1.020. Cretype 442.0 liter. So, when though we consider urine specimen as invalid, a urine specimen is considered invalid under the following circumstances. So, adulterated, substitute, or diluted, improperly collected, handled, and stored, improperly documented. So, thank you, and so that will be all. Thank you. Bye-bye.